Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to scape this vase. Unfortunately I've already done this intro and I've had to re-record it because the microphone wasn't working. I made a very big mistake with the sound just on the intro section, so I'm having to do it after the vase is complete. But hey, we all make mistakes. It's how we learn, it's how we progress, so let's get on with it. Now what I did before was talk about the vase and why I've got it and its size and shape, but well, that's all gone. There's no sound, so I can't show you that. So we're just going to have to get straight on with the build. Let's get the substrate going. I'm going to start off by getting some of these in. I'm only going to use one for this whole vase, but I just want to get some nutrients right at the bottom before I build up the layer. I'm just going to take this one tab out of that packet and I'm going to break it down a bit. There you go, so I've just got a little bit more than a quarter. I'm going to try and break it down into smaller bits, maybe try and make it a bit powder-like. Now this is safe substrate. This is a bit of alpine grit mixed with aqua soil, mixed with sand. This is all saved from an old scape that I've pulled apart. I think that'll do. Yeah, got about an inch now. We're now going to get another chunk of this root tab. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to break it up and just put it on top now. Now I've got some pond soil. It's just from the local garden centre. Again, you can get quite a big bag for not very much from your local garden centre. You can put a couple of scoops in. Put down the big bits. Mix it in a little bit with this substrate. Right, that's looking good. Now I'm going to get in, I'm going to cap everything down with a layer of sand, and I've got a bag of La Plata sand by ADA. It's the only sand I've got at the moment actually. So it's going to have to do. It's got quite a good grain. A little bit white, but I'm hoping this is going to eventually be so full of greenery it's not going to really matter. So it's a good sort of inch and a half now to the top of the sand. And yet we've still got quite a decent amount of space for our plants, which is good. So I've got a few bits of manzanita here. Let's give it a little try. I think this might be too chunky and take up too much space. Could look quite good, I don't know. But I've got this piece. I've already used it on a previous scape and it's stuck on the rock already, which is good because all of this wood would float without a rock on it. And I'm going to plop that in there. So the plants I've got is this lot. These have all been living in a bucket for about 6 or 7 weeks now. So my filler plants to go around the outside is this lot here. I've got 8 portions of Helianthemum tenellum, which is also known as the dwarf chainsword. So I send out loads of little runners and little plantlets. I think the idea is to fill up all the way around the outside, and hopefully eventually that will become quite a big thick mat of wonderful strappy plants. That'd be great. And hopefully planted in the middle in this sort of area here is going to sort of dominate this sort of part of the jar is this one here. This is an Echinodoris. This is Echinodoris radicans. Now apparently in optimum conditions, this can go a good sort of 70 or 80 centimeters, so it should come right up out of the jar. But I don't think this will be an optimum condition, so hopefully it'll reach the top of the jar, maybe poking out the top, but I don't think it's going to dominate. Anyway, let's start with the dwarf chainsword first. Let's go. Hopefully I can get my hand in. I'm going to make a little planting hole with my finger. Oh, uh-oh. Okay, so that didn't work too well, but I'm going to get this final bit of root tab. I'm going to get that right where the Theodoris is going to go. I know that they are greedy plants. I need to think about knocking that down with a bit more sand. Okay, sand is now everywhere, all over the plants, but not the end of the world. Hopefully that will lock the plant down. I think it's time to flood the thing. So, as you can see, the water is a little bit cloudy, plants a little bit raggedy. I mean, right now it's not really a shower, but these are quite low demanding plants, so they're all going to be a grower. So, you know, in a week or two, they're going to become a shower. So I think we just need to let this thing settle down now. I might get a couple of floating plants in there. Yeah, and I'll start doing daily water changes. And yeah, see where we are in a week or so's time. So it's been about a week now since I first set this up and flooded it. I've been doing water changes every day. Parameters are all pretty good. It's all nice and settled. But it's looking a little empty, so I think we need to add some more plants. I'm going to have to go on a bit of a harvest in my 2 tanks over there. Let's go have a look, see what we can find, eh? So I've had a little hunt and I found another pygmy dwarf chain. Helianthum tenellum, I think that's what we called it. I found a couple of strands of Eliocharis montevidiensis, which I'm going to put behind this stuff just to try and give it a bit more depth. And I found a lovely little bit of Valandra, which I'm going to mount sort of halfway up on that wood. I think it'll just give it a bit more, a little bit more. So we'll get these in and then we'll get on to it. Got this nice piece of Valandra that I bought off somebody online. Don't know the name of it, all I know is that it's quite a narrow leaf one. A bit of curling on the edges of the leaf, a bit like a Kedagang, but a bit smaller. I think I'm going to try and get this somewhere down this rock. Yeah, I may have to do this. I don't know how to do that. Alright. Oh, and the bowl, aquarium's lights just come on. And great as well. Yeah, you can see some of the Theodoris leaf is dying. There's a yellow one at the back there. This big one here at the front. What I might do is just trim those off And that way the plant will start putting energy into making new leaves rather than trying to keep those ones alive. Yeah, the new chainsaw. Theodoris montevidiensis. Yeah, let's get those trimmed up, then we can think about adding some shrimp and snails. I think we are ready for shrimp and snails. Great. That's all planted up. Water's all good. I've had a little test and everything's sitting right. Yes, now it's time to get some life in here. I've got some ram-torn snails. I'm just going to get some in here. When I bought these, they gave me some other types of snails as well. Of course, I've forgotten the name of right at the moment. Good to get those in. Now I've got 6 cherry shrimp to go in. These have all been acclimated over time, so don't worry about that. I'm very conscious about animal health. Last thing I want to do, create an environment that harms a living being. The last thing I want to do is just get a couple of floating plants in there. I'm just going to take a couple of red root floaters from the shrimp bowl. And I just want to take, I've got a couple of small water lettuce from this other tank. And there we go. There you have it. Quite a simple setup. Going to take a bit of growing in, I think, for this to really take off and look great. But I just wanted to sort of show you how, even with quite a small setup, you can still get something quite good. There you go. Easy shrimp vase. Quite a simple setup, really. Just got to make sure you get a good inch or so of gravel or aqua soil or whatever you're using. I've decided to cap it off with sand, keep everything locked down in the base. Just one stick for the hardscape. I've glued it to a rock. Let's put a few plants around it. Now, just because I wanted to make it a bit fuller from the start, I've added some extra plants, but you could just do it with one plant, maybe one pot of plant, maybe 2. Dwarf chainsawed and the Theodoris would have been enough, but just wanted to give it a little bit more just in this early stage. Good idea to get a couple of floating plants in there as well, just to help with settling the water quality, as well as giving the shrimp and snails a bit more area to sort of hide in, really. But it's quite simple, quite straightforward, something for everybody. Anybody could do this, really. You could probably get away with putting this on a bright windowsill. Probably not anything with any direct sunlight. That would probably just cook the jar, so don't do that. But yeah, kept it nice and simple and easy, and I look forward to seeing this one grow in, really, seeing it evolve. Of course, I'll do some updates on it in future videos, keep you posted. You know, if you've got any questions, just leave a comment. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.